Hey guys, GM Josh here. Today I'm going to show you how the setup that I've got in Roll20 to manage fleet engagements in the Star Trek Adventures RPG. Now I've run a few fleet engagements on my own and then also in the campaign that I run here on Roll20, and I think this setup that I've got with macros and my API scripts have been very useful in streamlining this whole process and just making the whole thing go faster. So first what I'll do is I'll show you guys a brief combat in play sort of deal, and you can see everything working, and then I'll go through the details on exactly how it's all set up. So in this situation, I've got two Starfleet vessels, USS Chesapeake, Excelsior class, versus USS Discovery, a Galaxy class, and a War Games type situation. I've determined that Discovery is going to go first. So what I'll do is first click on the token, and you see two numbers that are the attack and defense scores these are all from the fleet engagement rules. But basically because the Discovery, a Galaxy class, is scale 6, her attack and defense start off at 6. So what I'm going to do here is, let's see, we're going to do, let's just say a advance. Let's move 2 zones for Discovery to bring her in range to Chesapeake. So that's her first action. And then we're going to fire on her. So what I did is I clicked on the Discovery, and then I went up to the top, and I click on this button called Attack, and that runs an ability that I'll show you guys in a minute. So what that did is that rolled 6 challenge dice, which are based on the current attack score of Discovery. And that's also using the challenge dice table that you can find in various places how to do, but I'll show you guys at the end. And you'll notice my scripts too, once I made the attack score of the Discovery decreased by 1. That's also based on the rules. As you make more attacks, the vessel's attack score goes down. And now Chesapeake needs to defend, so I'm clicking on her token and clicking on the defend button. And the Chesapeake rolled a 4. So in this case, since both vessels rolled a 4, nothing happens. But you can also see the Chesapeake's defense score decreased by 1 to 4 since she had one single defense. But Discovery, well, actually that's it for Discovery. That's her turn. So now we're going to go to Chesapeake. So Chesapeake, I think what she's going to do, because she's in range of a vastly superior vessel, is she's going to first do a feint. She's going to move 1 zone, and what a feint does is it decreases the defense of the Discovery by 2. So I'm going to set Discovery's defense to 4, and then Chesapeake's going to make an attack. So she rolls 6, and let's see what Discovery gets for her defense. A 5. So that means Discovery is damaged. So to represent that, I'm going to take off one of the dots off Discovery. So I now have 1 blue. That represents damaged, and because she's damaged, she'll only get 1 action on her next turn. So now it's the end of the round. What I need to do is reset the attack and defense scores of both vessels, and how I will do that is select them all, and then I also have another macro that's called Reset Ships, and it resets them for me. So top of the round, Discovery gets to go. Now since Discovery is damaged, like I said before, she only has 1 action. But since Discovery knows that this is an example that's going to go on YouTube and she wants it to go as quickly as possible, she's just going to attack and not run away. She's going to move 1 zone over and attack Chesapeake. So let's see where that goes. 5 dice, that's a good roll. Let's see how Chesapeake defends. Yikes, Chesapeake is damaged. So again, like I said, I'm going to take off that red dot. So now Chesapeake is hurt. Now moving on, let's see, Chesapeake has the possibility here of finishing off Discovery. So what she's going to do is 1 zone and then attack. I'll roll 3, that's quite pathetic. Let's see what Discovery can do for defense. I'll roll a 6, so sorry Chesapeake, since Discovery rolled higher, that means the Chesapeake is the one that takes damage, and she is finished. She is destroyed, she is space dust. So you can see with the macros that I have set up, you can get through fleet combat pretty quickly between the vessels. But let me show you the good stuff. Let me show you how all this works. And to do that, I'm going to click on the character, the USS Discovery. So to get started, what I've done is I'll go and add a new character. Just like normal, you can do a character sheet if you want and make it a ship and set stats, but I don't really use any of those for fleet combat. What I'll do is I'll create a new attribute, attack, a new attribute called defense. And these are based off the scale of the vessel. So let's set this back to 6. Because that's what it would be for a scale 6 vessel. And then I have some abilities here on the side, and those are the abilities that pop up as token actions when I click on the token itself. The first one is attack. So let's break this open and see what's going on. So I have just a default template. One of the first things is I set the name so you can see it. Click back over my chat and you can see, so you see which vessel is doing its thing. I have it set to be the selected token name, which is useful, so you don't have to make a new version of this for every ship that you do. You just copy the script and it'll know the name. And then also roll a number of attack challenge dice that's based on the attack score. Attack goes back to the attribute that I have here. And then I'm also using the set attribute API script. And what that's doing is that's modifying the attack score and taking a -1 when I click this. Follows the rules, you know, every attack or defense you make, you have to subtract by 1. And then I'm using the Roll20 music manager to play a fun sound. Of course, you don't have to do that. Defend, very much the same. Instead of attack, we're using the number defense dice for challenge dice, and we're modifying defense by 1, and then just playing a fun shield sound. So regroup is a little different. Regroup is an action that uses the defense die, the current defense dice of the vessel. And if the defense die roll is greater than the scale, greater to or equal than the scale of the vessel, then it repairs itself. Since this doesn't detract from the defense score, I don't have that API call to remove the number. So that's important to remember. Let's see what else. Let's see the macro for resetting the ships, which is very useful. So what I did to do that, so let's see, Chesapeake, yeah, Chesapeake needs to have it self-reset. So I'll show you guys in practice. I'll select all the vessels and I'll click the macro. And what my macro here is doing is it's saying all selected items reset their attack and reset their defense score, which is a very useful thing to have. Especially when you're dealing with lots of vessels. You don't have to worry about clicking on each one of them. Just select them all, hit that, and it will reset them. All right, guys, that's really it for how I'm handling fleet engagements. I hope this has been useful. I found that the succinctness of the system in combined with the useful tools that Roll20 gives us, this is just a great way to get through fleet engagements with lots of vessels and still have fun and not get bogged down. Well, I hope this is useful. As always, if there's anything or any suggestions that you'd have, please let me know, drop some comments, and I will include the scripts that I'm using where I can on YouTube and Reddit. All right, so long. Have fun out there.